I've just recently audited another Klaviyo account, and I found some pretty scary stuff. So if you're a 5, 6, or 7-figure e-commerce business, you're going to want to watch this video, because I know there are a lot of businesses out there that do not have dialed in retention systems in place. They're neglecting it, because in an e-commerce business, there's so many other things to be thinking about. If you don't understand email marketing as a founder, it's just put to the side. So this video is going to be a sort of mini audit, so you can implement some things into your business and start seeing some results quite quickly. Now, there are 3 core pillars to email marketing. It's your pop-up form, your sign-up form strategy. That's how you get people into the back end of your email marketing sending tool, or the ecosystem. Okay, that's how you get people into the flows, and that's obviously how you can start sending more campaigns and sending campaigns to more people. Now, if you don't have a good sign-up form strategy, or you're not testing offers regularly, obviously this is dependent on what type of brand you are, but if you're not testing different offers and trying to understand your customers as best as possible and trying to figure out what it is they want, it's going to be hard for you to grow your list. Now, people neglect it, but the reality is that's how you get more and more people into your flows and into different lists, so you can send more and more campaigns to different audiences and different segments. Okay, so that's the key thing. Now, things that are working really well right now are scratch to wins. I'm sure you've probably seen these. They work incredibly well if done right. Also, collecting third-party data, so where somebody you ask the potential customer or the person signing up what they are interested in, and they start to get emails based on what they have clicked. Okay, and that's another thing that works well. And also, like mystery offers, all that type of stuff works well. The 5%, the 10%, all that type of stuff, it doesn't cut the cloth. Okay, it doesn't perform as well anymore. You need to be thinking outside the box a lot more. So that's the sign up form. So that's something that we would fix first. I'm going to run through this brand's current sign up form strategy, show you the submit rates. Okay, but the other important thing to talk about here is you can see on the screen the month to date figures. So from the start of June until today's date, the 30 brands is doing well, but they're still losing a lot of money because they don't have a proper email marketing setup in place. Now, you can see the attributed revenue figures looks great from face value, but it doesn't mean that the brand is doing a good job when it comes to retention. As you can see, campaigns are doing 95% of their email marketing revenue. This is a drop-based business, so the campaign numbers are overinflated anyway, because when they drop a collection, the customers can't get on the website until they send an email. So all that revenue, or the majority of that revenue, is going to be attributed to that specific email they send. So it's overinflated anyway, the campaign revenue. Now, flows only do 5% of the revenue, but your flows should be doing all of the converting. They should be converting while you're asleep. Now, ideally, we want to go have a 60-40 split. 60% of your email marketing revenue should come from your flows, okay? And the other 40% should come from your email campaigns. And that's whether or not you send 1, 2, or 3 a week, okay? So that's super important. Now, you can see also from the right-hand side of the screen, you can see just underneath the revenue figures, you can see the text message hasn't even been set up. So they're not collecting SMS. And for fashion brands, I don't need to tell you why, but SMS is super, super important and can convert incredibly well when you set up SMS right. So you need to be collecting as much customer information as possible, okay? So that's the overall business summary. Now, like I said before, I can go into the click rates and the open rates and all that stuff. That stuff is important, but these are the key things. This business just needs a proper campaign set up, a proper sign-up form strategy, okay, and a proper custom flow build. Once those things have been implemented, then you can start to scale and look at all these other things, okay? So if I scroll down, you can see the flows. They got one flow live. They got the abandoned checkout email live, and I won't click into it, but they're not sending potential new customers down one path. They're not sending existing customers down another path. So they're not speaking to potential customers and existing customers at the right times, or where they are in the customer journey. So that's really, really important that they do that. But For this business, they just need their core flow set up. So that's the welcome series. Really, really important. That's where you're going to do all of your objection handling, okay? And you're introducing people into the community or to the business. This is where you're going to generate the majority of your flow revenue from the welcome series. Now you've got other flows, so your site abandon series and your browser abandon series. A lot of people miss these out, okay? When somebody is on your website, they don't look at anything, they just sign up to your newsletter, and then they click off. They need to be entered into a flow. Same with if they're browsing a collection, they need to be entered into all these flows depending on what people are doing on your website, okay? So I can't tell you enough how important it is. If you have a lot of website traffic and you don't have your flow set up, you're just losing so much money, okay? So this business needs a full custom flow built out. Now, we can go into more detail when it comes to the flows. You can get your core flows, like I mentioned, welcome series, site abandon, browser abandon, abandon cart, abandon checkout, customer win back, post-purchase, all these different types of things. And there's also some custom ones as well, like I mentioned, sunset flow, okay? You can have flows if somebody views a product twice in 7 days, they enter into a flow. There's lots of different stuff you can do here, okay? So that's the flows, and they're going to see a massive improvement when it comes to email marketing. Once that's set up, they're going to generate so much more revenue off the back of the flow build, okay? So that's the flows. When it comes to campaigns, I won't click into them too much, but they're sending sporadically. They're sending like one every 10 days. The designs are on point. There's no strategy behind sends. They're sending it to their whole list, and the open rates are really, really poor. So if I just scroll down, you can see like some of the open rates here. They started sending to a bit of an engaged audience, but you can see some of these open rates here, like 21%, 20%. Some of them are pretty good because they're sending to fewer people. And you can see some of the revenue figures here, but the click rates are pretty poor. So that's something that needs to be improved on, okay? Now, that's the campaigns. Now, if I go into sign-up forms here, I just click here and go into sign-up forms, you can see that they have one pop-up form live, right? Okay, and they've, you could say, oh, 2.3%, oh, it's good, but we could be doing so many more numbers, right? So if you're not converting anywhere between 5 to 8%, sometimes even more, then you need to look at your offer and you need to change it, okay? First of all, they've just got one pop-up, so they're not testing mobile versus desktop, as an example. They have no fly-out strategy. So for example, if somebody clicks off the pop-up, where's the other pop-up to give them another chance to sign up, as an example? So there's no pop-up strategy in place here, and they're not collecting as many sign-ups as they should be. So they're leaving money on the table here. Now, when it comes to, if I go into lists and segments, I just go to audiences and then go to lists and segments, okay? You can see they don't really have the correct segments in place. Now, to keep it really, really simple, so many people have like engage 180, engage 30, engage 90, engage 60. It's just not needed, okay? The key segments to focus on. You really need an engaged 120 or a 180 day. That's it. So that's where you're going to send the majority of your email campaigns to, that audience, okay? Don't need to add anybody else in. You just need to have an engaged 120 or an engaged 180. Now, key tip for you. When you send email campaigns, you want to exclude people that subscribe to your newsletter within 8 days. So if your welcome series lasts for 8 days, it's over 8 days, you want to exclude people from your campaigns if they've subscribed in the last 7 days, as an example. The reason we do that is because let's say your welcome series is 7 emails long and you send 3 email campaigns a week. People are going to start to receive a lot of emails from you, and it can become quite spammy. And you also want to introduce and handle some objections for your customers or your potential customers within that welcome series. So do not send email campaigns to new subscribers. If they're getting like 6 emails, 7 emails from you in quick succession, sometimes 2 a day as an example, then it's going to feel spammy. If they also getting SMSs as well, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So that's just a key tip for you there. Now, other segments to consider. You only really need first-time buyers, non-purchasers, and also lapsed customers. There's a couple of others, but you don't need to overcomplicate it. This business right now isn't at a stage where they need to really, really dial down their list segmentation. They can just keep it really, really simple. That's all they really need to do. So let's recap. For this business, they have agreed for me to do a custom flow build out. So the first thing we're going to do is do a custom flow build for them. And that will include a sign-up form strategy, a proper sign-up form strategy to get more people into the flows, okay? Once we've done the custom flow build out, they're going to be able to see how much revenue we're able to produce from the flows. We're going to start collecting SMS, okay? We're going to put a campaign strategy in place. But the first thing we're going to do is get that sign-up form strategy in place, because that's how we're getting people into the back end, okay? Then we're going to do the custom flow build out, and then we're going to work on the campaigns. That's the order you should do things in. Now, when it comes to the sign-up form strategy, don't overcomplicate it. Don't ask for too much information. All you need to do is collect the customer's email address, keep it frictionless as possible, okay? Then collect SMS after they've given you their phone number. You don't need to collect any other information. You don't really need to collect first name, last name, or gender, any of that type of stuff. Keep it simple to start with, okay? And this is really all this business needs to get to the next level. And then we can work on some more advanced strategies once those things are in place. Once the sign-up form, the flows are done, when it comes to the campaigns, you've got to see the campaigns as ads, okay? So every time you send an email campaign, people are clicking into your website, adding to cart, abandoning checkout, all that type of stuff. If they've been in a flow before and they've gone through the flow, guess what? If they're taking more actions on your website, they will then re-enter into those flows continuously, depending on where they are in the customer journey, if they're a potential new customer or an existing customer. So these are all things you need to consider. If you haven't got any of this in place, then I would advise you to do it as soon as possible. Like I said before, this business have given me the go ahead to do the custom flow build out. So I'm going to come back in a few weeks' time and show you the results and how we actually went out and built the custom flow, or the custom flows, shall I say, and we're going to show you the results. So stay tuned for that. Any questions, pop them below. See you on the next one.